Welcome to Derpy Elephant Woodworking. I am an amateur woodworker. This is my very first video. So this will be the fun part because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I've been lathing. I've done a few projects here and there, a couple of candle holders that turned out pretty good. Just kind of fumbling along as I watch YouTube videos and think, I could do that. Well, it turns out when you don't know what you're doing with a lathe, you burn motors out of them pretty quickly. And I did that with my first lathe, which is fine. It was a Vivor and not very expensive beginner lathe, one of the 40-inch with the extendable. And I had these grand thoughts of making, table legs and anything else. And it turns out it's not as easy as it looks. So this YouTube channel is just dedicated to me fumbling around, figuring this out as I go. And making a ton of mistakes and just showing that, if you're willing to take the time and practice, you can figure this out and you can make some pretty cool stuff. Who knows? Maybe eventually I'll get good enough and I can start selling some of this stuff instead of putting it on my mantle, and really more as a way to keep my mantle free of clutter. So anyway, I'm going to be working with this piece of pine today. We cut it out of a tree in one of my good friend's yards here about a year and a half ago. And it's been sitting in my garage since. So we're going to try and turn it into just a small vase. With the other lathe that I had, I used the other section of this to make a lamp that I have in my daughter's room. And I'll put photos of it up if I can figure out how to do that. I'm not super tech savvy, but we're going to figure it out. I'm in my garage, so this isn't a professional wood shop. There's a lot of pieces of other projects. You can probably see a piano in the background. That's because we replaced the piano in the living room with a fish tank. And now that gets to live in my garage and be really annoying. Unfortunately, the fish tank was my idea, so I just got to deal with it because my wife says so. So it's good. So we're just going to go ahead and start working on this. I'm not going to talk a whole lot because I feel really dumb doing this, but maybe as we go through this, we'll do better. Feel free to leave comments if you want to. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me the things that you found funny about how dumb I am with this stuff. And we'll learn together. We'll get this figured out, and we'll make some cool stuff along the way. So I've watched enough YouTube videos that I'm not a complete moron, but it ain't far from it. So here we go. Just gonna get that on there. And you'll be able to tell here pretty quick. This is quiet. The Vivor I had was really loud. If I turned this on, it was loud. It was waking up neighbors. Now I got this on the stand, and it's a little wobbly right now, so we're just going to turn it down until I can get this a little bit closer. Let me turn that off so that I can get my guy here in place. Now, what I learned and what I was doing really wrong before, and going to do my best to not do wrong again, was I would keep my brace here. I had it pretty far away, and there was a knot, and so I was breaking tools, and had a couple chisels go flying across the old garage, which was not my favorite moment because, that's always, not only is it money just flying across your garage, but it's a little bit scary. So I learned that when you do this, you want to make sure that you have a little bit of space, but not much. So as long as it's not touching, you should be pretty good. And again, I'm going to start this pretty low. Right now we're at about 50 RPM. We're going to crank that up a little bit so I can start hogging off some of this material. Before we get going too fast, I'm going to grab my face shield. Luckily, that's the thing that I always figured pretty early on was I want to keep my face from getting destroyed by a flying chisel. So. All right. I got that in reverse. I sure do.
I was wondering why that felt so weird. We're going to turn it around and start it over. That's the cool thing about this lathe too, is it's got reverse for sanding and stuff. So we're just going to start hogging some stuff off. Boy, that's nice. Well, right away. So definitely didn't use the right size screws. Let that be learned. I didn't think I needed that much, but a couple whacks and that went. Good thing I didn't have that running at 100 miles an hour. So good. Fail number one. I think we'll pause there and we'll get this set back up with a little bit longer screw and go from there. Well, we got some new screws in there. It seems to be a little bit more sturdy. Part of the problem was we got this little knot here that I think it just took a big impact and kind of came off. So we're gonna work on that a little bit. Just gonna pull this out and just a little bit closer, make sure that we don't get that. That was one of the things too that I wasn't quite understanding before, was some of these bigger things in the knots. Man, you don't need to get your chisel all the way in there. You're gonna break your chisels. So and then you dull pretty quick too. So anyway, we'll work on this little guy right here, this little knot, just keep it kind of far back till we wear that out, and then we'll get the rest of it all hogged off, and we'll go from there. But yeah, I put some bigger screws in there, so we should be better off. We'll see. We'll see. Who knows what's going to happen? Again, just kind of keeping it slow. Here, I'm at about 270 RPM. I'm just going to come in pretty light. No, we got it. Yeah, it's funny, the reason I was using those screws before, and you should have known better, but you know, hindsight's 2020. My V-bore, the stock on this, you'd screw stuff in the plate, was a lot thinner, and so I was able to use those. This one's a little thicker, a little more heavy duty, and so yeah, I had a bigger plate, so I was able to put like 7 or 8 screws in them, which is nice. And listen, I'm not super familiar with how to use a lot of this, so we're gonna figure this out as we go. I've watched some videos, but you know, until you get your hands on, it's hard to say 100% how things are gonna work. So we're just gonna do some things. I am grateful for a face shield. That is for sure. Oh, you know what? Total moron here. Don't know what in the world I'm thinking. We need to get this in here. Holy cow. See, it's all novice stuff, you know. You figure this out as you go, and you just really hope you don't hurt yourself in the process. But yeah, that feels much better. That's going to take away a lot of that wobbling there. Yeah, look at that. Part of the issue, and the reason that I forgot it, and I hope everybody remembers, this is my first time ever using this lathe. And so far, this is way better, like night and day. You can even hear me talk over my V-bar. But this piece in particular, as I was working with it in the past on that lathe, it would back out. So like this piece would just slowly back out. So it was never, it never really worked. So this is the first time I've ever had, you know, a center, whatever you call it, that actually works. So, okay, I'm just gonna kind of level this off. The goal here, and what I want to make with this guy, is just a little dry flower vase. We'll see if it turns out or not. If not, the good thing is it's a free piece of wood. It's not a big deal. So I've got some tools that I want to try out that I bought, all from Harbor Freight. They're all designed for this specific Bauer model. And yep, so right now we're running at about 775 RPM. I'm definitely going to want to change this to make this go faster here. And I may do that before this video is over. I may pause it. But for now, I'm just going to finish leveling this out, evening this out, and then we'll go from there. A little shorter than I like, but I know I can get replacements for it. See, kind of like what I just did, I moved it off the edge and it caught the piece of wood and forced it down. Gotta be really careful about that. I don't really lose the finger if I can help it. I got kids and I work for a living, so my job requires fingers. Most do, I think. I always figure when in doubt, just stop the lathe and get your tool rest where it needs to be. Again, what I learned, don't have it far back, keep it close to the wood so that you can not break your tool. Okay. See, I did it again on the other side. What a doofus. Okay, we're gonna turn that off and start figuring out exactly what we want to do on this guy. So you can see we got a couple little gouges. So like I said, flower vase. So I want to shape this down and have the neck be up here, and we're going to cut ourselves a. I can't even remember. I watch these videos all the time, but I can't remember what it is. But I've got myself one of these little donkshies, and we'll just cut it down and figure out how to use this, because I'm not entirely sure, so that we can hold it on there and really get a good shape on it. So, okay, I gotta get my face shield on here. Kind of important. Don't want to lose a face. All right, so figured this thing out. Just took a couple minutes. We're just going to cut something on this back side so that it'll hold on to it. I know you all know what exactly it is I'm talking about, but it is escaping me for the life of me right now. So we're gonna figure it out. Let that get up to speed. I haven't changed the belt over yet. I may do that. We'll just see how this goes. So part of my hesitation with changing over this belt was that's when I lost the V-board. I changed the belt. I think I probably didn't have the tension quite right in it, and it was not super intuitive. If we're just being honest, it wasn't. So I think I screwed it up pretty good. Okay, so we've got this back. We got it in a little vise here. So we're gonna just start shaping this guy. See what we can make out of it. So, like I said, the goal is a small dry flower vase, and we'll see if we get there. We might not. This might be a horrible idea. We're gonna find out. We're gonna just taking this back up to about 1100 RPM. Yeah, just about there. Just using a skew. See if I can't. Yeah. See if I can't get this a little bit more even again. All right. Well, I'm not doing something right here. Not sure exactly what it is. definitely taking hunks out. We're going to work on our skew skills later. Alright, so I don't want to go too much smaller on the back end of this. I'm going to make the neck just right around in here. We're going to start. Boy, I'll tell you what, this thing was really pretty cool that I got. Another purchase. It was made for this lathe. And it just grabs onto the back of that. You know, the one thing that I really have tried to work on, it's weird, the temptation, but trying to just push down on this thing and force it to my will. So you just let the chisel do what it's supposed to do. You don't have to sharpen it quite as much. Then it will come off. You know, I'm using pine, it's not a hard deal. Now, one thing that I'm noticing too, I want to start correcting. I'm just going to get this into a better position so that I can just be a little bit closer. Here. Now, I'm not working on this side so much, so it's okay to get in here. Just keep the chisel close. All right, so now with this is about the size that I want the top to be. I don't need it to go much smaller. So I'm just going to start working it so that we got that little lip there, and it comes back and rounds on the back side. So that's my goal. I gotta shake all that dust off me a little bit every once in a while. So we got the rough shape that I want here. And this is the cool thing about lathing is, you know, you don't have to know what you're doing to make something that looks cool. It's like skiing. I grew up in the mountains. It's really easy to put a pair of skis on. It's kind of hard to get really good at it, but you can look good falling down a mountain a little bit. Like a mountain thing. Why are we having a hard time? There we go. Just gonna come back over here. You know, one thing I'm thinking, I might just drop my. I've got this. Not exactly sure where the appropriate place to have that, but I think I was too high. So, okay, that's not looking too bad. Some new chisels that I'm not quite sure exactly how to use them or what they do. So I know that some of them will help with some spindle, which is kind of what I want here. Just around this edge. Oh yeah, okay. See, this is the part that, as you get used to your tools, I think it turns some pretty cool stuff. There you go. Okay, well, that kind of messed that up. I think it made the lid a little bit cooler, so we're going to go with it. Say I did that on purpose, and then we'll just clean it up. Again, nothing, it doesn't have to be fancy. going on my kitchen table. And really even only until I learn how to make a cooler one or I get a bigger piece of wood to do that. So, all right, let's see what we got here. It's pretty rough. The other feature on this wood that I've always thought was pretty cool is there's some really deep oranges that come out through here in the grain. Got a little knot, so that's cool. Let's see, how rounded are we on the back there? Pretty good. Okay. Yeah, the top turned out pretty cool. I do have this little like gouge in it. And that's okay. It just adds a little bit of character. We'll sand that down and see what that looks like. So this is the other cool little toy that I bought. Okay, so that took me a little bit to get that center punch off there, but I've got a 1-inch Forstner bit. Sorry. We're just going to hollow out the inside of this real quick, and this is the first time I ever used something like this, so we'll see how this goes. I mean, it could go great. Maybe I'll break the whole thing. Pretty sure we got the right size. Did a little bit of measuring on there, so I don't want the walls to be too thin. I want them to work, and then I'm going to be sanding down just to clean everything up here, and then finishing it with just some beeswax and stuff. I apologize, guys, getting a little late, so we're gonna rock the rest of this out, edit this video down. So we're just gonna go ahead and turn this. Turning it up to about 1100 again. Maybe I'll turn it down just a little bit, see what happens. Go to like 900. Yeah, about there. So we're just gonna slowly turn this guy in. Gonna go slow. Oh, better check our chuck. Make sure that's in there all the way. It is. Okay, we're good. I just don't want anything to fly out of my face or something. We'll back that in and out just a little bit. I've heard some people say things like this is cheating. Whatever. Who cares? I'll back that all the way out and just get this a little bit closer. I'll get a little bit deeper in there. I had quite a ways to go. I just wanted to slide that out now. Okay. So this just slides right out, which is nice. All right. Here's a cool thing. Get that right up in there. That's not what I want to do. Don't mind me. I'm a noob. But I always figure it out. That is one thing. I'm just going to turn that off so I quit doing that. It's one thing about me. I may not know right now what to do. Just going to make sure that's where I want it. But I'll figure it out. Pretty creative. Okay. All right, so not a whole lot that I need to do here. You know, I'm going to just blow this out real quick. See how far down. That really doesn't go super far, does it? It's okay. Got a good start. I'll be able to get a little bit more done in there. So, and we'll go ahead and clean up just this edge. All right. Well, this isn't the right tool. It's funny how you learn what not to do a lot quicker than what to do. Yeah, it ain't working either. Let's see. It's okay. Just gonna improvise. Okay, well, we're getting a bit of an issue here, so let's not force it too much. I really don't want this thing flying across. Yeah. Huh. Well, okay. This looks like this is just starting to get a little loose. Yeah, right. I'd say it's definitely my fault because I don't know what I'm doing, but just make sure that. Oh yeah, we're all kinds of wonky now. Okay, well, let's get that fixed, and we'll go from there. Oh man, we're making it more and more wonky as we go. Tell you what though, this is exactly how I figure out how to do stuff. Yeah, I love watching other YouTubers and stuff. I mean, we live in the age of information, but a lot of times, until you get your hands on it, you start breaking things. You just never quite learn how to do it yourself. And I thought this was pretty darn cool, so willing to come out and make a bunch of mistakes and look silly. All right. Well, just wish this would. You know, we're closer than we were. We're just not quite there. Boy, nuts. All right. So, wasn't quite able to get it exactly back where it was. I put the center punch back in here just so that we can keep it pretty stable. We're only, that 4-0 bit only went in about that far, so gotta figure that out. That's not a big deal. A bit here. One thing I realized too is here on this top, one of the screws that I put in, because I had to put those longer screws, it created a little hole there, so we're just gonna have to take a little bit off of here. It's fine. Just until that's not there anymore, and then we'll round the edge off. And kind of the nice thing is, we gets a little bit funky through here. That's all right. So there's that little screw hole right there. So we'll just get that all off of there. Yeah, for the most part, that's off of there. I do want to clean up this. There's just that little bit of from the saw. Probably should have just started with that. I'm going to take just a little bit more off of here, so I got plenty of material to work with, but just wanted to make sure that screw is there. So I'm actually going to back this out. Yeah, starting to. Still a little bit of a chip there. So I'm just really taking off material. I can make this a little shorter. Just run that back in there and redo that top. That's okay. So we're getting there. Yeah, all right. So that's much better. I can work on that. So we're gonna go ahead and get this back over this way. This back. All right, so just gonna get that out of the way here. All right, and then here's the real cool thing. Let's set this guy in reverse. All right, just gonna start sanding it down. I got some 120 here. Now at this point, I'm not trying to shape it, I'm just trying to smooth it out. Boy, this is nice. Being able to put it in reverse. That is killer. Okay. Just going to switch over to some 220. Get a little bit more fine. I don't think there's much reason to go any finer than 220. I mean, for Pete's sake, this will be a pretty temporary vase. It turned out all right. I mean, it looks pretty. But it definitely isn't definitely isn't one of those that I'll be bragging all the buddies about, you know. So just you guys. So you might wonder, and not that it's super important, but why in the world would you call your YouTube channel or your company Derpy Elephant? Well, the icon on there that you see is the very first wood project that I ever did for somebody else. I've always enjoyed doing this stuff, and you know, with my wife's grandfather and my father-in-law, we made my daughter's crib and out of some wood that he had in his shop in Utah, and I love that experience, and all of my kids have been able to sleep in that. And now that we're doing foster care, it's shockingly, even though I made it myself, it passes all the qualifications for foster kids. And it's just one of those things. It's going to become an heirloom in our family. And so as life gets stressful, I just thought, it'd be pretty cool is to have a hobby that gets me out. I remember that time pretty fondly and wanted to just recreate those feelings. And so my son was turning 10 this year, and he wears glasses. And so I wanted to make him a little glasses holder for his birthday. And, I'd seen some nice glasses holders online, and just thought, man, I think I could do that. His favorite animal is an elephant. And so I came out into the garage one day and drew what I thought was a cool looking elephant, cut it out on the scroll saw, pieced it together, kind of designed the thing, and brought it inside, glued it up. My wife painted the eyes and the face and stuff on it. And we got done. We thought, gosh, this thing is pretty darn cool, but I think we could do better. So we went online and we found a better picture of an elephant, and we decided to redo the whole project and did some more research on how other people have done it in the past. And we made another one, and it just turned out to be really nice and really cool. And, it wasn't that the first one wasn't really nice and really cool. It was. But we just wanted to do better. So we called the first one the Derpy Elephant. And it graces our bookshelf in our living room now. And it just wears sunglasses. It's all kid-sized stuff. And it was just a good reminder to me that, it's okay. It's all right. Go out and experiment. Do some stuff wrong. Screw it up real bad. Try not to break expensive equipment. I mean, I went and bought this. It wasn't cheap, but it's not a nice lathe. It's not one that you see. But it's okay. Go break it. Go screw it up. Figure it out. And that's the only way you ever get good at something is by working hard and experimenting and doing things. Not everybody's naturally talented at this stuff. I know I'm not. But I love it. I enjoy it. It's cathartic coming out into the garage, especially on the weekends after a long, stressful work week. And so that's the goal here. And so that was a symbol to us and to me of what woodworking is and why it's so enjoyable. So we decided if we were going to move forward with something and I can show other people it's okay to be really dumb around this stuff. You don't have to be good at it. You can still turn out something. This doesn't look bad, holy guacamole. It's not going to be bad. Oops, let's turn it off, not just into forward. It's just like running your car. Yeah, it needs a little bit more sanding. We'll keep going on it, but I just want to show a couple little features, and I'm not sure how well this is going to turn out on here, but we have this little knot here, and then just running back these two little black stripes. We're going to keep sanding because it's just not where I want it to be. I'm going to go back to the 120 grit and just get some of this stuff. But this is a really soft wood, so there's going to be little dings and stuff in it. And then we'll part off the bottom here and see if I can't expand the inside down a little bit. We're like right here right now. I'd like to get into the base of it. Not that it matters. I mean, we're going to put fake flowers in it, just a small bouquet. And so I do. So, but like I said, it's all experimenting. It's fun. You're welcome to be as nice or as mean or whatever as you want to be on this. I really don't care. I don't live my life for other people. At least not the negativity that other people bring. I like to be really positive, and I like to help people. And so, if this is helpful to you, great. If it's not, and you just think, man, this guy is a giant doofus, cool. You don't have to watch. If you just think it's entertaining to watch somebody who isn't as good as these other people who are online, and some of you guys are just freaking talented. Like, let's be honest, just very talented. fine. Comment, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. I'm not overly concerned. I'm not in this to make money. This is more for me, and my kids think it's cool, and they want to see if YouTube business is a viable business for something like this, something that I enjoy. So we're just going to show them. My goal is at some point in my future, I would like to be woodworking full time, but I got a really, really long way to go before we get to that point. So we'll just keep working on it. Oops. Well, another good tip: don't stick your finger in the metal piece. Took part of my nail off. Whole well. Well, it's silly to do that. So, funny story. As I was finishing that up and sanding, what I didn't realize is that the battery on my phone was dying. So we finished it up. We ended up having a bit of a challenge with the top of it. It broke off when I turned it around and parted off the bottom. So I just sanded that down, made it nice. Like I said, it's a temporary thing, but golly, look at some of these really cool grain patterns all the way through this. Turned out really good. Beautiful wood. So for a little free piece of wood, having just a little bit, and this is all sanded down so it's not sharp. But yeah, so very beautiful. Like it a lot. These are my favorite. These little markers they have, and then you see that bright yellow, orange there. Kind of matches the same color as this, and then the darker stuff. The bottom, a little bit more rough, but it's got that knot, and it just kind of follows that up. So anyway, that's the finished product. So no shellac or anything, just beeswax. Thanks for watching, guys.